If you feel like you're behind in your development and in your recruitment, this is going to be the video for you. Juniors and seniors who are stuck in their exit velocity and their 60-yard dash times, I'm going to show you exactly how you can get recruited in 2026. I'm Nate Kelly, I'm the owner of Kelly Training, and I run the Close the Gap protocol. We've got numerous athletes to the next level through their development. Without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, recruiting can be divvied up into 3 categories: your metrics, your skills, and your exposure. If you mess up one of these 3 things, you are not going to get recruited to the level that you could get recruited to. And I like to use the analogy of a book. Okay, so here's my book right here. These 3 categories make up this book. And every single college coach has the choice to read your book or not. So your metrics, that's the cover of your book. Okay, so this is your eye catcher. This will determine if a college coach will even give you the time of day to begin reading your book. It's almost like your billboard, okay? Your cover's gotta be popping. This is the first thing coaches are going to judge you by. Okay, next, your skills are the pages. Okay, so everything inside the book is going to be your skill set. Okay, so once college coaches open up that cover, they say, okay, these metrics are at a place where I can actually give this dude a time of day. I'm gonna read about what this kid can actually do out there on the field. Your skill set, okay, so how skillful you are in this game is going to determine if these college coaches will read your book and for how long. And finally, the length of this book. So how many pages there are is your exposure. The longer the book, the better. The longer the book, the more exposure. There's more information, there's more data, and there's a higher chance for that coach to be intrigued in your book. Basically, man, we have to make a New York Times best-selling novel to show these coaches. And it starts with your metrics, so let's start there right now. First of all, it needs to be heavily understood that coaches really don't want to develop you. I mean, they might here and there, but they want the kid who's already developed. It's less on their plate, and ultimately the coaches just want to win. And the more developed you show up to their campus, the quicker they're going to win. So development is completely on you and in your court. The quicker you can develop, the better chance you're going to have at playing at the next level. With that being said, you should be shooting for 95 plus EV in a sub 7 second 60 time. I don't see any reason as to why you shouldn't shoot for these numbers. It might seem far-fetched for a lot of you, but it's definitely possible. Okay, but how do we actually get to this point? Well, first, you gotta test these metrics every single week. If you don't test these metrics every single week, you will not hit them because what gets measured gets improved. So start doing this in your development. Then you need to build a plan around your deficiencies. So if one of these is clearly lacking over the other, start building a development plan that attacks that directly. You have to use a structured, proven programming split in the weight room. If you think metrics don't matter, okay, listen to me carefully. If you think metrics don't matter, you're just a gritty player. Have fun playing D3. That's all I got to say. Okay, next, skill. Of course, you gotta be able to play ball. So if your metrics are at a certain level, let's say you got here, but you can't play ball, the coach is gonna open the book and they're gonna shut it immediately. So of course, we gotta make sure that they're actually gonna read the entire book. So we need to actually train our mental and our physical development. Also, don't be afraid to play high competition. And I don't just mean summer ball, school ball. I mean, go to places and facilities where you can hit live ABs off of really high level pitching. When I played, I used to do something called pressure testing. What this means is I'm gonna put myself in different situations. Through these situations, whatever I can't handle as a player and it breaks, that's the next thing I need to tackle. So for example, I would go hit live ABs off guys that are throwing 90 plus. If I just couldn't hit that velocity, I knew that velo was my pressure test. That is what broke me down in my swing. So I had to go train that off the machine, and I had to continuously hit guys with high velo. If it's clutch situations for you, and whenever you're in a clutch situation in a game and things break down, that's the next thing that you need to work on. So in your training, you need to put yourself in those similar situations. You also need to seek them out on the field. Start creating that environment for yourself and start pressure testing your skills. I think metrics are also a great way to pressure test because it's a very objective and data-driven way to do so. If your EV is 90, but you know you need to be 95, that is the next thing you have to improve. Okay, so exposure is last. And exposure can be exposure or to be exposed in a negative way. So we don't want to expose how underdeveloped we are to everyone else in the country. We want to make sure that we've developed our cover and we want to make sure our book is worth reading. From there, we're going to expand those pages and give coaches a reason to read our book. So here's a problem with so many players right now. They're treating exposure like it's 2006. Dude, it's 2026. If you think coaches will just come watch you play, or my high school doesn't do well with recruiting, or I'll just try to get connections at my facility, you're thinking 20 years in the past. The internet is your billboard. You need to start treating yourself more like a personal brand and market yourself across the country. We live in a day and age where me in Indiana can go get recruited in California because of my cell phone. You have to be utilizing that. Because honestly, and I'm speaking as a college coach here, coaches don't want to go watch you play first. They need to get an idea of who you are. You need to sell them on yourself. And they need to watch you online in some degree before they drive across the country to come watch you. And dude, if you're not using the internet to leverage your exposure, I feel bad for you. So let's put an end to that right now. Here are some non-negotiables when it comes to your exposure. An optimized X page. Your X page is your hub. Coaches can learn everything about you on your X page. They don't have to come watch you. They don't have to go to your high school. Literally a link. So this has to be optimized. Next is outreach. This is emails, this is X, this is text message. Put yourself out there. You can't wait for them to come to you. And like I said, you can get connected with anybody across the country so easily nowadays. You can literally go on X and look up the college coach or the college itself of the team you want to go to. You can DM them. There's really no excuse for a lack of communication. So we need to optimize our outreach strategy. Next is relentless follow-up. College coaches are pretty busy. They're gonna leave you on red. They're gonna not respond once in a while. But again, it's up to you for your destiny. You have to follow up with these coaches relentlessly, even if it's annoying. You gotta go get what you want and what you feel you deserve. Basically, man, be persistent in the process. Finally is posting on social media. You've gotta advertise who you are. X and YouTube are probably the best. If you're not posting, everybody who's not in your proximity is gonna have no clue who you are. Unless you're okay going to your local JUCO, I don't recommend not posting. At the end of the day, recruiting is in your hands. If you play this game passively, you are a victim of your own capacity of taking action. But right now, for many of you, we're not even on step 1 yet. You don't even have the cover of your book. So development is always going to be the first domino before you step into the recruiting world. And my mission is for you to have the best cover of your book possible. And that's why I made the Close the Gap protocol. Because I've seen so many players who have okay metrics, but just not good enough, try to skip steps and go straight to exposure. But guys, you have to be undeniable on the surface first. So start taking control of your development. If this is something you're looking for help on, I'm opening up spots in the Close the Gap protocol this summer. The link is in the bio. You can go ahead and fill out the form and schedule a call with me. Stand out and don't settle.